Steve Edwards. Welcome to my guest house and gallery space in Woodinville, Washington. A new space that my wife and I designed about a year ago when we started. And I think I've been here almost every day, taking out walls, pulling carpets. We knew the older couple that lived here, and we wanted to buy their place when they passed, which we did. And a good friend was having his house demoed, so we got all his windows, kitchen cabinets, bookshelves, 48 feet of bookshelves, that we designed this whole place around reusing all of these parts of our friend's house. And it's going to be a guest house, it's going to be a gallery, an event location. We want to do short-term rentals, so we still have control over what we want to do with it. It's not just a money-making thing, but it can be wine tasting, art openings. We can show maybe another artist's work. But it's been a really fun process for my wife and I to make all these aesthetic decisions. And so we just kind of had no budget. We had no time period. We just said, let's make it the way we want it instead of for the market. And we raised the floor in the old garage that had been a rec room, so it's all wheelchair accessible. So in 30 or 40 years, when my wife and I get old and can't do stairs, we might move here. And it's all on one level. I did all the tile work in the bathrooms, and we had contractors that we knew, and plumbers and electrical people, which, it's not interesting, but I had really good people to work with. And so it's now pretty much complete. And we got to clean the windows, but pretty much everything is done, which is exciting for us because now we can start using it in various ways. My wife was from this area, and we both met in art school in California. We loved the West Coast, so we thought Oregon made sense. So we go to Oregon, go out to the ocean, which we thought was beautiful, and said, we need a city. And Portland wasn't as grown up as Seattle was. And so we said, Sally's folks live here, but we can still choose that because the weather is nice and cool for glass blowers. So we bought our house for next to nothing with 2 acres, a view of the mountains, and I built my own studio. I had no experience, but I read chapter 1, foundation, then chapter 2, framing. And so it was pretty easy. And so I was blowing glass actually at a co-op in Seattle while I was building my studio. But it was a great climate because I grew up where it was really hot and blowing glass would be a nightmare. And so I had kind of gotten a reputation, and galleries were calling from all over the country, seeing my work, and I said, let's do that for a while. But I was always painting on the side but I wasn't showing it. And then I showed at the Foster White Gallery for a while because some of my buddies were showing there, and I said, "Hey, my work's as good as theirs. Let's see if they want to show my work," and they did. So I showed with them for like 26 years. But we just liked the Northwest. This was like vacation land for me. Well, I've gone through so many steps because I started out in high school carving stone, doing paintings, and had a few instructors right after high school who gave me good information. But I got stuck blowing glass for about 30 years. Then I started combining glass and wood, glass and steel, and then I said, why define yourself by a material? I don't have to use glass all the time. So if I wanted to do something 16 feet high, it's just not the appropriate material. So I started working in steel, and I had a blown glass show in New York City, and Steuben is a company back east who liked the way I drew on glass and suggested that I design something with cast glass that I couldn't do in my own studio. But I said, I can do it if I want. So I stopped blowing glass, casted glass for 6 years, then started combining it with wood and steel, and then dropped glass altogether. But periodically, I'll use glass again as a material. And then the older that I've gotten, I didn't want to lift really heavy steel outdoor sculptures. So my focus now is painting, and it suits my spontaneity. I like to work on 4 paintings at the same time. And most of it is not pre-planned. I'll find an old painting that I thought was wonderful at one point, and then I said, not so wonderful. But there's some good stuff in it. And so I want to save the good stuff, change the composition, and make a new painting. And that excites me. Oh, these are some of the artists that have influenced my work, and they work spontaneously and loosely, and I really admire them. Christopher Wool, Cy Twombly, and Gerhard Richter are just great artists in my book. We're looking forward to hosting events and welcoming guests.